Hi, I'm Leslie with the New Mexico Small Business Development Center. I have Annalena here with us today. Also, we're excited to present Eric Spellmann. Let me make sure I get the title right. The Secret to Adding Online Revenue Streams. He just told me that he's got a lot of information to give everyone. You can raise your hand if you'd like to ask him a question directly, or just type it into the Q&A. He said he's okay. You have a question on a slide that comes up, feel free to just go ahead and ask it. Yeah, and I will watch for those and we'll make sure your questions get answered. So again, we're excited for Eric Spellmann today, so I will turn it over to him. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'd like to welcome everybody. And if this is your first time to hear me talk on behalf of the NMSBDC, then you need to know a little bit about me. First, I like a ground zero approach when I talk. So do not assume that this is going to be some sort of tech talk. This is ground zero. If you have a small business, if you have a business, regardless of your technical ability, then this is for you. Ask questions about anything. I promise I will answer them to the best of my abilities. So feel free to ask at any time. And with that, we will get started. One of the questions I get from people is, Eric, we make this product, we offer this service, and that's all we've done. It's the one thing we do. Do what you do well. Don't try to do everything. Don't try to be Walmart. Why would I want to do something else? Well, as the pandemic showed, there are a lot of reasons why you may want to diversify, because your service, your product may suddenly not be available, may suddenly not be relevant. And you don't want to put all those eggs in one basket, okay? So having those other lines of revenue are helpful. And I learned this in my business. And my goal was to create as many different online revenue streams as I could. And that's what I like to call them, revenue streams. Think of them as, like cash flowing down a river, and you're going to guide it towards you, guide this one to you. And they're all different, but they all come to you. So that's what we're going for, a little bit of diversity. You're going to get a competitive advantage is what I like to tell a lot of people. If you have competitors who do exactly what you do, well, if they only do what you do, but you can do that plus something else, plus be able to add this, a bonus of this, then that is a competitive advantage for you. So I don't want you to think that it's getting away from what you're good at, getting away from your expertise, because really what we're trying to do here is we're trying to maximize the revenue that comes into your company without adding a lot of cost. And many of the things I'm going to be showing you today, you can add with very little or even no cost. It just takes a little bit of work on your part to get it up and going. So realize that this is a good thing we're talking about doing. Adding a new product line, adding a new service. If you think about it, all the major companies do it. They don't just have one product. Very few national companies have one product. They've learned how to diversify. Many cases, you could also sell more to the same customer. One of the biggest things I like to tell people is a lot of times your customer is buying from you, but you're not getting all the money in their wallet. You're getting only what they need to buy your product. But they had more money, they would have been willing to buy something from you, but you had nothing else to offer them. So I always like to say, maximize, maximize, maximize. If you ever get a chance, and this is going to sound like one crazy little example, but there's a lot of really good amusement park games like Roller Coaster Tycoon, for your computer or Xbox, stuff like that, where you're basically, it's a simulation where you're having to grow a thriving amusement park, with roller coasters. And then based on the rides you put in there, it determines how many people show up and how much money you make. It's a fun game, teaches business concepts. I love it. Well, that's kind of like your company. If all you have in that amusement park is one roller coaster, yeah, it's going to be popular for the roller coaster crowd, but then eventually they're going to be like, is that it? So always be thinking about what you can add to your menu that doesn't take away or cause you to sacrifice in any other part of your business. And if I can sell two things to a customer rather than one, I'll do it all day long. More money. That's the key. More money. That's what we're trying to bring in here. And especially as we learned with the pandemic, so many businesses, they lost their primary revenue stream. I mean, look at restaurants, look at, massage places. You know what I'm saying? A lot of businesses, they had one thing that they did and they lost it simply because of current events. And so that is what I'm talking about here. Listen closely if you want to be able to add maybe some revenue streams that you currently aren't getting now that can help you in case we ever have another unprecedented event in 2020 and 2021, I swear. So the key here is to start with what you do, okay? I'm never of the opinion that you should go out there and do something you're not familiar with. Do something that's not your expertise. Do something that's out of your ballpark altogether, I'm a computer guy. I would never put up a business painting surfboards. You follow me? Know what you do and do well. I remember one time as a kid, growing up as a young little entrepreneur, I knew I was a computer guy, but someone convinced me to get in a little business where I sold golf cards, golf discount cards for golf courses. Well, here's the deal. I don't play golf. Never really played golf. Didn't know any golfers really. And so that was a complete failure. I was just looking at the dollar signs and not looking at whether it was complementary or was a good fit for my expertise. So start with what you do. And the way to think about it is, think about your product or service. What products or services complement that? In other words, when people get that, what else do they get typically? Also think, with this new service or product that is complementary, will I be bringing in a new customer demographic? Will I be getting a whole new set of customers is what that means. People that weren't buying from me before. If you've pretty much had an audience that is, say, people over 50 years old, and you suddenly come up with something that is very similar, but is more receptive to people under 50, guess what? You're going to get a whole new demographic. You're going to get a whole new audience. But once again, it has to start with what you do. One of the ways that I expanded my business early was, instead of just coming up with the one service, I came up with service levels. Now, what do I mean by service levels? Think about it this way. Think about the Olympics, okay? So bronze, silver, gold. Every company, if they offer a service, ought to offer a bronze, silver, gold, or a first, second, third, or a good, better, best is the way to really think of it. And your goal, believe it or not, is to get people to go silver. Let me say that again. You're going to offer 3 services, okay, or 3 levels of the same service, and they each cost more money. Like, there's the cheapest one, bronze, the more expensive, but you get more, silver, and then the most expensive, you get everything. It's the full meal deal. That's gold. Now, according to marketing statistics, the majority of people will not buy the premium. Unless you tell them there's another level, the majority of people will probably buy the basic. But your goal is not to buy the basic. Let me give you a good example. Let's say that you have a service and you can charge $5, $10, or $15 for it. Okay? Bronze, silver, gold. Your goal is to sell it at $10. Okay? You're going to get some $5 cheapies, and you're going to get some $15. They don't care what the price is. They just want it. But the majority of your money that you make is going to come in on that silver level. So the strategy on this is, when you come up with the extra services or the extra features of the service, when you do your 3 levels, In the back of your mind, realize what you really want to sell the heck out of is silver. You want to sell the heck out of that middle option, because it's easy to talk people into, hey, you start with the basics, but if you just add $5 more, look at all you get. And if you add $5 more, you get the premium super support 24-hour, blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? So start with that. You're going to market the basic service, the cheap service, the $5 service. That's what your advertising is going to be based on. But once they get there, then your goal is to upsell them to the silver service. Now, a few people, money doesn't matter and they love you so much and they're going to go, hey, might as well just get the gold, get it all. So there will be a few who do that, but your money's going to be made in silver, okay? In the silver level. So understand the strategy. And if you start watching websites and companies, they all do it. They all do it. How many of y'all have seen those 3-tiered options and the middle one always says best value or most popular? Most popular option, what everyone signs up for. It's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's a way you can take the same service and charge much more for it and have 3 levels and hit people where you want. Like I said, you want to, one of the ways I've heard it put is grab that bag, get as much money as you can from that consumer. Okay. Not steal it, obviously, but sell them at the level they're comfortable being sold to. You can always have a premium product or a premium service. Like I said, that gold level, maybe you don't want 3 levels. Maybe you want to come up with a new service, and totally premium. And it's totally, it's kind of like in a hotel, where you call down to the concierge. A lot of companies have been able to add a concierge or special service to their company and charge more for it. But it allows people who are willing to shovel the money at you an option that bypasses everybody else. Like I said, large companies, and I've done this, I've tested this, and it works. Once people come in on the low price, I upsell them to the middle price, and then some even go for the high. So have a premium product. Think of what you can do with it, what you can make it, or a premium service. Sponsorship is another option. Now, this can go both ways. You can either seek a sponsor, which is kind of what the main thing is, someone sponsoring you. Now, why would someone sponsor you? In other words, why would someone pay you to be you? Well, a lot of this has to do with if you are a face on the news, or if you're a face, a speaker, or something like that. Or it can also go the other way, to where you could pay for sponsorship, but then get access to a whole new demographic. Like if the people you're going after go to local baseball games, then having that advertisement out there, sponsoring it, so to speak, that's what you're doing, is you're sponsoring the baseball, could generate some advertising revenue for you. But you can also get people to sponsor you. The key to find someone who might give you money just for being you is find someone who benefits from what you do. Okay. So for instance, let's say that you do a show on barbecue grilling. Okay. You have a little blog or a podcast or something where you teach people how to barbecue grill. Well, guess who might want to sponsor you? Someone who sells a barbecue grill. Okay. And so always ask yourself, what do they get out of this? Okay. What did they get out of this? Because in order for them to sponsor you, they have to feel that the money that they are giving you is overwhelmingly beat by the business they're receiving because of you. Okay. So always be real smart and say, you can't just come up and say, oh, okay, I'm going to charge them X to sponsor me. Always be thinking, what kind of business do you think you can send them? And a lot of that's going to be based on the size of your audience. If it's a show and what you do, put it on paper. Any kind of sponsorship agreements, either way, need to be on paper. They need to know exactly. It can't be a handshake deal. Okay. In Texas, we do this all the time. but handshake deals, but I don't recommend it. Publicity for a product is one of the best things that can happen and one of the best things that they can get out of it. Okay. So for instance, if they have a barbecue grill and they really want people to see it in action and see experts using it, then they might send you one. And a lot of YouTubers actually, they're called influencers. And a lot of YouTubers have a revenue stream that they get by reviewing products. And depending on the size of their followers base, if they have thousands of followers, well, then a lot of these companies will send them products hoping that the influencer will review it.
I have
Okay.
a
So not only will,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I never know when to stop you because you have such great information, but we do have a question.
Yes.
Can you apply service levels to products like retail items? If so, how would someone do this?
Okay. Whenever we do it with products, a lot of times it's bundling. Okay. With products, you usually have a product and it's always going to be that one product. So the way to get them to spend more is to have a bundle, buy one at this price or buy three at this price. Your goal, especially if you're shipping, let's talk about shipping for a minute. One of the reasons that Amazon and Office Depot and all those groups will give you free shipping if you order over $50 or something like that, or if you pay Prime or something like that, is because shipping is the number one barrier to people ordering online. They're always thinking, well, if I just walk down to Walmart, I can just buy it. There's no shipping. But if I order it online, they'll have to ship it. So if you get rid of that barrier, they can. So what you can do is this. What most people don't realize is this, and Amazon discovered this, and that's why they're so popular, is that I can send you one product and the shipping will cost $5. Or I can send you three products in the same box, and my cost of shipping is what? Still $5. Okay. So I can either send three products for my cost of $5, or I can send one product. I would rather send a full box. So motivating people to fill the box can make you a lot more money because your profit goes up, because your costs have gone down. So it's not that you have service levels on products, it's that you bundle. Okay. If I can sell someone one thing, I would rather sell them three. I would rather sell them 10. Okay. And there's even another revenue stream that's not even in this talk. If what they use is something that is people go through a lot of times, you could even come up with a subscription service. The whole the razor thing where they send you razors every month, or a cheese of the month, or food even works that way, where every month you'll get X amount of food. You see, that's a recurring revenue stream. When people sign up for that kind of service where they're getting a product, whether they ask for it or not, but it's something that they consume on a regular basis, that can also be other revenue streams. Because if you can send something to people and they didn't ask for it, chances are they'll keep it. If you think back to the old days, do y'all remember when they had those record clubs, CD clubs, record clubs, where you would sign up and then they would send you like 10 and you only bought the ones you kept? The reason they did so well is because they knew most people did not want to ship that stuff back. And so they kept it and they bought it. And it was just sent to them. And they made so much money that way. So I love the subscription options. There's so many things you can do with products. I hope that gave you some ideas. Okay, the next one is affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing is another way you can bring some money in. And actually, I make money on this personally. Okay. Affiliate marketing is where you put an ad on your website, or maybe you have a blog or an information site and you put an ad on it. Okay. And if someone clicks on that ad, you get paid. Or if someone clicks on it and goes to someone's website and actually buys something, maybe you get a finder's fee or a commission or something like that. What you need to realize is that your audience is valuable. Your audience that you've built over a number of years is very valuable, and they all have something in common. They all like what you make, or they all buy what you produce, or what the services that you offer, they partake of. So they all have something in common. If you are considered an expert, then basically when you recommend something, people are more likely to do it. So let's say that you make your money by teaching people how to barbecue, like we talked about earlier. And so you decide to put some ads on your website. And maybe your website is full of barbecue recipes and stuff like that. So you use affiliate marketing and you put some ads on there and you tell them what kind of ads you want. And so things like barbecue grills start showing up. So if someone is on your website learning how to make barbecue and they click on that ad and then maybe go buy the barbecue grill, you might make a piece of that action. Or you might just simply get a few pennies for the click, whether they buy anything or not. It depends. We'll get to that. Basically, what you're doing is selling access through the ads, selling access to those complementary companies through ads on your website. Or they can be just about anywhere. The way that you get paid is either by impressions, clicks, or purchases. Okay. So for instance, if I'm teaching people how to barbecue and I have an ad on there for another company who sells barbecue grills, and someone clicks on that ad, if they click on it, that's a click. If they see the ad, that's an impression. If they click on the ad, go to the website, buy a barbecue grill, that's a purchase. So the cheapest you can get is an impression. And you can actually sell those ads and say, you know what? You know, your ad can be on my website and I'll charge you $100 for 100 impressions. 200 impressions. It's actually kind of expensive, but I'll charge you $100 for 100 impressions. And basically that means that your banner, your ad will be seen at least 100 times. Now, what if they click? A click is more valuable because the click means they actually clicked on the ad and went through to the website. So I might charge $2 a click. And then if they buy one of my $1,000 barbecue grills or buy from that company, then maybe I get $100 per sale. So that's kind of how affiliate marketing works. And those are the different ways. All an impression means is that they saw the ad. So you want them to see it and you make it paid that way. You want them to click it, you make it paid that way. But a lot of people want the full meal deal, and that's the purchases where you get a piece of the pie. Amazon is a good example. If you ever want, go out there and look up Amazon Associates. Just do a search on that, Amazon Associates. With Amazon Associates, you can basically choose any product at Amazon and you will get a custom link. Now, so for instance, let's say you have an email newsletter. And in that newsletter, I say, oh, my favorite grill in all the world is the ABC barbecue grill from Amazon. Or I might just say the ABC barbecue grill. What I will do is I will highlight that ABC barbecue grill and make it a link, but I'm going to put in my custom link that Amazon gave me. Very special link no one else has. And if they click on that, it will go to Amazon. And if they buy it, I get 10%. And the way they know it is because it's that they use that link. That's how Amazon knows, and Amazon pays me. And I know a lot of people have made some serious money just by being an Amazon associate. The beautiful thing about that is they don't have to have an inventory. They don't even have to produce a product really. But if you do produce a service or product, it allows you to have another revenue stream. So is there a question?
Yes,
Go
there
for
is a question. So how do you know they actually saw it and didn't just pass by it on their page, like with Pinterest, if there are a lot of other images?
Oh no, that's easy. That's all just techie stuff because we track everything. We track everything. And so the system knows whether the ad came up on the screen. Okay. Now they may have scrolled past it really quick, but the point is the ad came up. You're not guaranteeing that they read the ad. You're guaranteeing that they saw it. Okay. So yeah, they might have just skipped past it, but that counts as an impression. So the more audience you have, you can make easy money that way, even if they never click on the ad itself. But an impression just means your ad was seen on that web page or on whatever it was? Okay, good question. Amazon Associates is the easiest to sign up for, and they have so many products that you can go out and do. I mean, just about anything, no matter what your company does, no matter what business it's in, you can recommend books, you can recommend pots and pans, you can recommend anything that Amazon sells. A lot of people recommend books. So even if you haven't even if you haven't written your own book, you can recommend other people's books. The key is if people see you as an expert, they're going to follow your advice, even if that means buying something. And so you ought to get a piece of that. Okay, CJ. CJ is short for Commission Junction. Commission Junction was one of the biggest affiliate marketers out there. And in that one, you can actually go through and choose different companies and say, I want this company, not that company. You know, I remember one time I was helping a funeral home with affiliate marketing, believe it or not. And there are actually some companies who do work with CJ, with CJ, I think they're called CJ Associates, Mission Junction Associates. And they sell urns. And so this funeral home was able to put the ads of that urn company up there. And whenever someone was on the funeral home website and click through and say, oh my gosh, yeah, we need to get an urn, or let's go look at those urns. Then if they bought one of those urns, that funeral home got a piece of the pie simply by having the ad for the urn company on there. Share a sale is another good one. And all you have to do is put .com on the ends of these, cj.com, shareasale.com, and you will find a whole bunch of different companies willing to pay you just to put your ad on, or their ad on your site. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, Eric, I have a business. I'm not putting ads on my website. I'm trying to sell my product or services. I'm not necessarily saying put it on your website. I'm saying, what if you created a blog site or an informational site that is complementary to what you do? And on that, you advertise. Now, you're good. Some of the advertisements are going to be what? Links to your other website. But people are drawn to experts more than they are corporate sites, unless they know the product they're going after. Okay, become a speaker. And I know this one. Become a speaker. If you have a company and you're comfortable speaking, and even if you're not, you can get comfortable. You got to remember, people would rather, and you might want to write this down, people would rather buy from an expert than a salesman. Let me say that again. People would rather buy from an expert than a salesman. So what you need to do is establish yourself as that expert, okay? Now, as the expert, what you're going to be doing is coming out with, I mean, you have two options here. Pure content, stuff they're really going to use, or you can do a sales seminar. Let me tell you an example of both. I have videos that I did a while back, and through affiliate marketing, believe it or not, which I'll explain in a minute, I still make money on those, okay? From Google. Google pays me every month for those. It's kind of an affiliate marketing we'll talk about. But those are pure content. If you go watch my videos, I'm not advertising anything. I'm not telling people to even go to my website because those are just strictly for affiliate marketing. But you could easily give people like information that they could use. And then let me give you a good example. YouTube. Have you ever noticed on YouTube, there's a lot of sites that show you how to do plumbing, you know, how to fix a sink, how to fix a toilet, how to fix this or that. The people who put those out there are typically plumbers, showing you how they are doing it. Now, a lot of people say, why would a plumber show you how to do what they get paid to do? Well, a long time ago, one of my mentors taught me, if you give it away, they will pay. Let me say that again. If you give it away, they will pay. So what ends up happening is someone says, oh my gosh, we've got a leaky sink. Oh, I can do it myself. Just go to YouTube, how to fix a leaky sink. Boom. You know, Jerry the plumber pops up saying, here's how you fix your sink. So they watch that 5-minute video, realize it's a bigger job than they wanted, but who was just established as the expert? Jerry. And so who do you think they're going to call? Jerry. Okay, so it would be like if I started trying to tell people all the different ways they could do social media to benefit their business, and I do, and a lot of my videos do that. But a ton of people realize it's a lot of work, and so they just call me instead. Follow me? I'm not telling you something I don't do myself here. Now, that's a pure content where you're hoping to be seen as an expert, and then people will call you based on that expertise. The other one is a sales seminar. This is kind of more like an infomercial where, and you've seen this before, where you invite everyone over for a free something, a free seminar on something. And then once they're in there, you sell them in there. So you give them a little bit of content, but really what you're trying to do is sell them, kind of a captured audience there and sell them on something. Okay. And that's called a sales seminar. So being a speaker, you can sell in two different ways. To do it, you really need to get on the local circuit first. A lot of people say, well, Eric, I want to start speaking, but I don't know where to start in your town. What I would do is I would call some of the different groups, and I know many of them may not be having meetings yet, but, call the, who are a lot of the different civic groups that are out there, who have weekly meetings and are always looking for a speaker. Come up with some speaking topics that will benefit them. And what that ends up doing is it sets you up as an expert in the eyes of all those people who might buy from you. And also, if you speak well and they like what you say, you'll get asked back. And so it's pretty much guaranteed money. It's free advertising. It's like an infomercial, like a commercial that you're not having to pay for. That's how I did it. I got on the speaker circuit. Anyone who wanted me to come tell them about social media or cybersecurity or web design or anything, I was there. And I didn't charge him in the beginning. I didn't charge him at all. I was happy to get a free lunch. I mean, I was a college kid at that time. I was happy to eat. But what I discovered was that after I had a lot of people come up and ask for my business card, and then I would get calls and I would get business. Being a speaker to show the expertise that you already have can really create another revenue stream for you. You can also invite local complementary businesses. So if you're going to have, say, a sales seminar, you could actually invite other businesses to have booths at that seminar and then charge them to be there because you're basically giving them access to the audience you brought in. I know a lot of companies who do that, and they make money on both sides of it. They make money by selling their own product and service, and they also make money by selling booths at their little conference, if you want to call it that. Okay. Questions on any of that? And I know you may not be able to type so fast. I can go back to it if you want, no worries. Another way to make some money with your expertise and your talents is by freelance. Choose a platform. Now, what I mean by freelance is extra work you would not have gotten otherwise. And what I mean by that is you're going to go to certain websites and either as an individual, you don't even have to do it on behalf of your company if you don't want to, or as an individual, you can say, I offer these services. And if someone needs it, like short little things, like back when I was building websites, there were certain aspects of the website that I didn't do enough of to actually hire an employee. So what I would do is I would go out there and hire someone who was good at just that one thing and pay them just for that one thing. And I went to a lot of different freelance sites to do that. So if what you do is an expertise that can be sold that way, that becomes another way to get out there. Set your price. What you're going to charge. It's either going to be by the hour or by the project or by something. Whatever you do in your field, that's what it's going to be. But also you're going to look at other people doing it and see what they're charging. Okay. Like I know a lot of people who make extra money, like, let me think of a good one. English teachers, good example. So a lot of high school English teachers, do you know how they have an extra revenue stream? They go on to sites like freelancer.com, which I'll show you here in a minute. and they offer editing, and they offer writing, creative writing, and and they offer looking over stuff and grading it, believe it or not, at the business level. You see what I'm saying? Their existing expertise is making them a little extra money on the side. Okay. And yeah, you'll get jobs you wouldn't have. The biggest ones out there where you can go and look and see what other people are doing and how they're charging are freelancer.com, fiverr.com, and upwork.com. Those are the best ones out there. And those are the ones that I've had the most success with. I highly, highly recommend them. And it's another way for you to bring another revenue stream into your company. And you will reach an audience outside of your local area. That's the beautiful thing about it. I remember one time I had one of my graphic designers who didn't have any work to do, and I was still paying him. So I went on, I think it was freelancer.com, and I found a few jobs and I put our company out there. And then when people would bid jobs, I would give them to the freelancer and make money. You follow me? Or give them to my employee and make some money on that. So you'll find work out there by doing that. Another thing, I told you there's going to be so many different ways you can make money. Another way you can add a revenue stream is by creating a digital product. Like I said, your expertise is exactly that, expertise. And it has a value associated with it. And chances are there's a lot of people who would love to be taught by someone with that kind of expertise. One of the digital products you can create is an online course. In other words, you basically film it, and using some of the different websites that are out there, which I'll show you at the bottom, you can put in some like a little quiz in between lessons. They even have a feedback way of students being able to ask questions. They handle taking payment, for the course and then getting your piece to you. They handle all of that. And it's all up in one. And all you do is create the course and then push it. And then you get a piece of that course price. So it makes it really easy. Another digital product is an ebook. Chances are the knowledge you have would fill a book, as they like to say. And so consider that. I see we have a question.
She's asking for the freelance slide again, and I just wanted to let everyone know that we will be sending a follow-up
Yes.
email to you, and we will have it, I believe, on demand, Annalena. Is that correct? Right after for the next 8 days?
Yes, that is correct. And I will send you guys that link after the webinar.
Yeah,
Thank
you'll
you.
have access to everything. So, okay. So yeah, another thing you can do is an ebook. And an ebook is one of those things that you can sell. It's easier to create than you think. In other words, you create and when I say an ebook, I don't mean a real book. Those cost a lot of money. An ebook, not so much. And you could even put it on Amazon where people could download it to their Kindle or download it to however they read now. And so you can sell books that way. It's not as difficult. All you need to do is kind of structure your topic, write it, have it edited, and then you put it in the right format. And Amazon even has a very step-by-step on how to use their platform to do that. So it also, you can buy stuff from Amazon. You can put stuff in the Apple Store, all of them. So you can sell your ebooks any way you want. Online courses, for the most part, how you price them is either or how they price you, should I say, is either monthly or a percentage. In other words, you're either going to sell that online course for a fixed price, and you're going to make a piece of it from the people who are helping you do it. Okay. So there's usually a monthly subscription cost to these sites I'm about to list for you. There we go. And they charge you a subscription, or they charge you nothing, and then maybe they get 40%. So if you charge $100 for your course, then you would get 60, they would get 40 every time you sell one. Or they might just charge you $12 a month and then not take near as much. maybe only 10%. So they all do a little different. My two favorites are Teachable and Udemy. Those are my favorites that I've used. I've used both of those and they're really good. Teachable seems to be the one really breaking through though right now and has a large audience on it. Makes it very easy for you to create a course and then go out and promote it. Allow custom ads. A custom ad is different than the affiliate thing I was telling you about. A custom ad is where you go to a very specific company, okay? And you go to that company and you say, hey, I do this. I teach people how to barbecue. You sell barbecue grills, okay? Get me a banner ad, you know, or a long skinny one or one that goes down the screen, vertical, horizontal, doesn't matter. Give me a banner ad and I will put it on my website. And I'll either charge you by the impression or I'll charge you by the click, or if we can verify, then I will charge you by the sale. Okay. But in this case, you're not just going out and letting whatever ads come in. You are allowing custom ads. You are specifically going out and making deals with very specific people. And maybe their ad will always show up on page 1, or their ad is always at the bottom of this, or their ad is only where you wrote about this. You follow me? And you can make all sorts of deals. But when you do it, you got to ask the question, what's in it for them? Okay, what are they going to get out of it? Because if you're going to charge it, they need to feel that they're going to make way more than that in business back. Companies aren't just made of money. They're not just going to throw it at you. But if they think they might make some extra sales, then whatever you're charging to put their custom ad on your website may be a good deal for them. The cool thing is you make a lot of money. I mean, we have a nonprofit organization here in Amarillo who does just that. And they actually get a lot of traffic to their website. And what they do is they have sponsors with custom ads. And that's one of the ways that they make money, is by selling those ads. And it comes in every month. It's not something they have to worry about not being there. So
Should the ads be like, if you wanted to do that, should the ads be similar or complementary to your product or your company?
definitely,
Okay.
definitely. They need to be, I mean, you don't want just something random out there. I mean, if I teach you about barbecue, I don't want ads pushing swimming pools. Okay. You need to be very selective in how you do that. Like, you know, someone who teaches barbecue, you'd want ads for meat. You'd want ads for barbecue grills. You want ads for all the little pieces and parts that go into that. You'd want to, you know what I'm saying? It needs to be complementary, because keep in mind who your audience is. Your audience is there because of what you do. And so they're more likely to buy something based on that, or else you're just shooting in the air. And no one's going to do a custom ad if what you do has nothing to do with that. How do you charge for these little custom ads that you're going to stick in there? I wish I could tell you there was a magic formula for that, but there's not. Like I said, chances are in the beginning, you're going to charge either by the impression or the click. Charging for the sale is harder to verify, and you almost need other software to verify that everyone believes the sale was actually being made. But in the beginning, you can do it based on impressions, because what happens is you can just go look at your web stats and it'll tell you how many times people saw that page. And that verifies it pretty easily. And so it makes it easy for you to charge. So if you charge, you know, some people might charge $100 for 1,000 impressions. It's easy to know if that actually happened. But people aren't going to pay for that unless you actually have the traffic to your website to show it. So it could be anything. What I would do if I were you, and this is kind of a sneaky way of figuring out what to charge, I would call other sites, like other bloggers, and find out what their rate sheet is for ads. You know what I'm saying? And tell them you're a vendor who does blah, 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 and you might be considering getting an ad on their website, and find out what they charge. And if it's close to what you do, all the better. Then you can kind of get an eye for it. This is the most important thing of all, because if you're going to allow custom ads, I almost would say if it's a national company, let them build the ad. But if it's not, you may want to build the ad, because what you don't want is something that looks like it was built by a 10-year-old. Okay. Because keep in mind, when you put that ad on your website, if it looks awful, or worse, it's inappropriate, that's going to hurt your website. So keep in mind, you always need to have final approval on any ad, and that would need to be in writing. But whoever's going to design it, let me just give you some ad 101 here. Every ad needs to have a call to action, telling people to do something. We don't say, please, we're not polite. We tell them to click here, go here, save now, download now. Make sure that every ad you have has some sort of call to action, because that's what you want. You want people clicking and going to their websites. You want people seeing it. Also, the ad needs to be something that stands out and gets my attention. If it totally blends in with the background or what you do, I mean, that's useless. So also keep in mind, there's different types of ads and there's different sizes of ads. And in fact, you can even go on Google and do a search for sizes, standard, these are all the different kind of banner ads that you have. Okay. I knew there'd be a ton of questions on this one, and even talking about other stuff. So I wanted to leave a little extra time for questions, because I saw some people had to leave right on the hour last time. And this topic always gets me a ton of questions. But if you don't have any, I have some other things I can share as well.
We do have we do have some things coming up. We are going to have Eric again next Tuesday with online guerrilla marketing, which I think is going to kind of go in with this topic of just we've got the basics on how we can add these online revenue streams. Now we're going to, I guess, get into the weeds, right, on the guerrilla marketing.
Guerrilla marketing is going to be all about kind of doing marketing in a very down and dirty way that works, okay, and one that doesn't cost a lot. It's a lot of fun. So it's like when you're a small business, you can actually move faster than some of the larger businesses. So we're going to talk about some of the tips and tricks and ways that you can beat them at their own game. But back to this, like I said, if you're not diversifying your company, if you still sell just one product or still sell just one service, you're just asking for it. And as our recent as 2020 proved, putting all your eggs in one basket is not necessarily a good thing. Okay. And so always be looking to expand. I remember with my company, I had some recurring revenue where I had a product I could sell, a one-time product, but I ended up turning it into a subscription. And the reason I did that was because I discovered that more people were buying my product in the spring, but summer it went dead. So my sales were all the way up here, but then it would go like this. So what I was trying to do was even out my revenue stream. So I created a subscription service where I'm getting X amount every month. And some of these people aren't even using my services during that month, but I still get paid. And there's other months where they use me a lot, and it's definitely worth it for them. You see what I'm saying? The best thing I can do is see if there's anything about your business that you can turn into what we call a recurring revenue stream. Okay. Like a subscription to something, where it's a service you automatically bring them every month, or you offer it all year. I mean, I was able to do it with tech support. I was able to do it with web design. I was able to turn just about anything into a subscription.
So I think so do you think that's good for just about any kind of industry out there? Because, You know, like you look at you look at a recipe online. You're like, okay, I feel like making something different for dinner, and then they have all the affiliates and stuff like that. But could you take these tips and put it to almost any industry?
Almost anything. I'll give you some examples. Let's say that because a lot of the businesses that I've worked with in New Mexico, a lot of them are artists, people who create very unique pieces of art. So how would that apply here? Well, what I would immediately do is have them start doing online courses on how they do what they do. Because keep in mind, an artist is an expert. An artist has an ability. An artist has an attention to detail. And most artists can tell a story about their art. And so a good artist who can teach people to do that kind of art is going to make money automatically. And the cool thing is, it's not that you're going to sell less of your art. You're actually going to be seen more of as an expert on that art because you're the teacher. And so your stuff will sell even more. So, I mean, it doesn't even matter what it is. If there's something that costs a lot of money up front, a really big price up front, you could spread out the payments, and get recurring revenue coming in during that time. Not only do you increase your audience who doesn't have to come up with a huge lump sum, but you're also bringing in money over time. So, I mean, it just depends. Does anyone have a specific business they want me to see if I can give them some extra revenue stream?
Well, we can see if that an example comes in. I would just kind of, when you were talking about some of it, it was, oh, here's one that came in: real estate, handmade cosmetics. Woo!
Real estate, what?
There's two. One
Oh,
is real. It's not combined.
okay. Real estate. I'll do real estate first. Real estate is easy. Okay. Now we're not gonna be able to do the gold or the bronze, silver, gold. We're not selling 3 houses. But what we are talking about doing is expertise. What a realtor, and I'm assuming that's what this person is, what a realtor needs is expertise. People choose a realtor because keep in mind that is one of the largest financial transactions people will do in their entire life. And so there's a lot of anxiety. And so anyone who can write a book, how to save 20% on the next house you buy, or come up with a real great ebook, 50 questions to ask a realtor before you sign up with them. Or you see where I'm going with this? Be the expert. If you're the expert realtor, not only will you sell whatever it is you're selling, but you'll also become their realtor. And so it kind of benefits you in 2 ways. So you could easily make videos, which is kind of what I do, and the way I make money on my videos, by the way, is Google AdSense. They put ads on my YouTube videos. And yeah, I have 5,000 people watch my videos every day. And enough of them click on those ads. And I get a check from YouTube, a check from Google every single month. And it's free money that I didn't have to do anything for. You see what I'm saying? But you have to establish yourself as an expert. And so what was the second one? Makeup?
It was handmade cosmetics, but I think that would be, boy, you could just do a lot with that.
Oh, that's so easy. I mean, think about it. With cosmetics, you could show how to put on makeup. That's one of the most common YouTube things out there is a makeup tutorial. But also, if it's custom made cosmetics, chances are, because I happen to know a lot about cosmetics, believe it or not, if it's custom made cosmetics, chances are you're also be able to talk about skincare. You'll also be able to talk about the ingredients in those things. And you know what I'm saying? You'll be able to set yourself up as the expert. And that's what you need to do. Teach people how, and they will pay you for the product to do it with. Other questions?
The other one is handmade small rock sculptures, but I think that's a very artistic thing.
It is, but that would be one of those teaching things too. You know what? And if it takes here's the deal, if it takes certain tools to make that, like, I don't know if it's just painting or sculpting or whatever, but if there are certain tools, you could find them on Amazon and then use an affiliate link and then tell people all the time, oh, if you're going to do this, you need these brushes or these tools, check them out. And then if they buy them, guess who makes money? You do.
That's all the questions we have for now. I'm sure that when I see you next time, I'm gonna have a million more.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I specifically left time at the end of this one knowing this would happen. And because I want people to feel that they have some ideas they can take with them after this. Other questions?
Is, we have thank you, thank you, thank you, thanks. So,
Oh, good. Oh, good. Like I said, the key is to remember this. People would rather do business with an expert than a salesman. If you set yourself up as the expert, you'll automatically get the sales.
wow, that's a that's a great ending. If there's not any other questions for Eric, again, Annalena, do you have information on the webinar?
I will be sending out a link to the on-demand recording, and I'll also follow up with some information on upcoming webinars. So you should receive that in your email here soon. And then it looks like we actually have another question, Leslie, if you wanted to read
It
that.
is, it's just, I love the idea of creating myself as an expert. I have lots of knowledge and will give this a try. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And let me just tell you, a lot of times we watch TV and we'll see someone on the news, like your local news will interview someone. You know what we do? We assume that that person they're interviewing is an expert, that the news would go out and find an expert to talk to. So we automatically give them expertise. So here's another trick. You need to find out who the local reporters are for your local news, and you need to take them to lunch. They need to be your best friends because what you want is to be on their golden Rolodex. Every reporter has what I call a golden Rolodex, which means when a story comes up about this, they immediately call that person for a local, local view of it. I'm telling you, getting on the news, it may sound so silly. Getting on the news can impact your business more than anything because it is free advertising. And believe it or not, you showing up on the news telling people what to do, people are going to pay more attention to that than the high price commercials that people are paying for in the middle of the news. Oh yeah, get on the golden Rolodex. Excuse me.
I definitely want to get on the golden Rolodex.
Take them to lunch, buy them a pizza. Those reporters are always looking for, because they don't want to get stuck not knowing, and so if you are proactive, I'm telling you, it'll benefit you.
All right,
Okay.
everybody, we are done for today. We will see you next time. Please visit nmsbdc.org for all the latest information and our calendar of events. And Eric, we will see you next week.
See you then.
Thanks
Y'all
so
have a
much,
great
Eric.
one. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.